I think I'm as organized as I'm gonna get with this. Um, do you know what steampunk is? Welcome to the G. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kristina. This is where we read books and we talk about books. No special effects going on here. Just what you see is what you get. Lighting problems, audio problems, a bunch of problems. It's all I've got. Anyways, please check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Fridays. Please also check out Flashback Mondays, where we talk about all the book reviews in Romantic Times Book Review. And we usually do a group from historical regencies, a group from contemporary, a group from mystery, a group from suspense, a group from paranormal, a group from inspirational, a group from sci-fi, Harlequin, erotica, the whole nine yards, covered all. And there is severe lighting issues with this. I'm sorry about that. Um, so today we are talking. This is if then. If you like this author, then maybe you like that author. This is always on Fridays afternoon, around 1ish. And then Star Trek is in the morning, also on Friday afternoons. And then of course my daily book reviews, where we are talking Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series. We're almost finished with that. In fact, maybe by the time this airs, we'll be finished. And James Patterson's Alex Cross series, and J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and a few others here and there as we go along. Now, steampunk. Steampunk is a captivating subgenre of science fiction and fantasy that blends the aesthetics and technology of the 19th century, particularly the Victorian era, with imaginative and fugitive elements. Steampunk novels often take place in alternate history where steam power remains dominant technology. Machinery, airships, mix of historical and future elements. Steamed by Katie McAllister, the one that I don't have a thing for. But Jack Fletcher's heart is about to get punked. Computer technician Jack Fletcher is no hero, despite his unwelcome reputation as one. In fact, he's just been the victim of bizarre circumstances. Like now, his sister happens to disturb one of his nano-electrical system experiments, and suddenly they aren't where they're supposed to be. In fact, they're not sure where they are when they wake up to find a woman with the reddest hair Jack has ever seen and a gun. Octavia Pye is an Aero Corps captain with a whole lot of secrets, and she's not about to have her maiden voyage ruined by stowaways. But the sparks fly between her and Jack just may cause her airship to combust and ignite a passion that will forever change the world as she knows it. And a couple of authors that we will be checking on later. Um, Style Me Steampunk. If I had a corset, maybe I'd wear it, but not. This is a PG show. Besides, I'm too heavy for that stuff, anyways. It's the 19th century, but not as we know it. Steam-powered airships, mad scientists, retro-futuristic gadgets that seem equal parts science and magic. There's no denying that. Whether the chosen setting is the Wild West or the Victorian England, the term steampunk evokes a specific association, an alternate past remade through technology, know-how, and a boundless sense of possibility. But while steampunk has its roots in the fiction of legendary sci-fi writers like Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, it's only recently reached mainstream culture through fashion. The first SalonCon, a neo-Victorian steampunk convention, kicked off in 2006, more than a century after the publication of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and almost 20 years after writer K.W. Jeter coined the term steampunk, sparkling the interest of artists, musicians, and craftspeople. The convention encouraged attendees to dress up or cosplay in tricked-out Victorian garb, And it's the aspect of steampunk created costumes in the spirit of the age that charmed many, including writers. And we're going to do some of the books mentioned here. Steampunked. This is a really good article. We will, when we get to this, we're in 2011. We just started 2011 with these. When we get to 2012, we'll talk about this again. One more. Uh, Full steam ahead. And I tried to get some of these books and I couldn't. Um, It seems like steampunk is on everyone's lips these days. The latest publishing buzzword is being bandied about as the next big thing in genre fiction. For readers who love elements of both Victorian era historicals and urban fantasy. But what is it and how do you know it's for you? Jeff Vandermeer, co-editor with Anne Vandermeer of the anthology Steampunk, came up with an equation to explain all the elements at play in steampunk. Mad scientist, inventor, steam time airship, or metal man divided by Baroque stylings times feudal Victorian settings. Progressive or reactionary politics, adventure, plot equals steampunk. Too complicated? Steampunk can be boiled down to the application of traditional sci-fi and fantasy techniques and themes acculturated technologies. According to Phil D. Filipino, whose collection of novellas, the Steampunk Trilogy, first published in 1995 from Four Walls, Eight Windows, was the first book to use the word steampunk in its title. So, you'll have to check those out. Sorry, my I can't fix it. 5 reasons to love steampunk. Steampunk is romance that men can participate in. It's gender neutral. 2, it's an aesthetic response to an ergonomic, sleek, user-friendly science fiction being culturally mainstream. Who wants the secrets of the universe stored on a memory device the size of a grain of sand when you can imagine a colossal brain the size of an Art Deco skyscraper? 3, it's like Goth, but without scaring your parents. Goths take vampires very seriously. Vampires are scary. Steampunks take pocket watches seriously. Nobody is scared of a pocket watch. 4, Ridge's subgenres. There's really no set steampunk style. It's a mashup of fantasy, horror, adventure, superheroes. It's number 5. It's a technology do-over. Mid-20th century sci-fi was largely utopian, with an unwavering faith in science and technology. Late 20th century sci-fi got scarier, showing where science and technology could go wrong. So, there we go, and we talked about this in 2009. Check out that Flashback Monday. Okay, so let's get to it. A couple of these authors I have a couple of times. Let's start with the Diamond Conspiracy. Just get my page here. Do I have the right book? I have the wrong book. Okay. The Kingmakers. Clay Griffith and Susan Griffith. It got 4.5 stars. The Griffiths' awesome steampunk fantasy trilogy ends with the most amazing bang ever, as the blood of 2 species spills as they vie to rule Earth. Readers will remember these beguiling characters rendered in eloquent detail long after the novel ends, and while the romance between a human empress and her vampire prince consort admits an interspecies war may be improbable, the author's artful storytelling makes entirely believable, delightful reading. The war against vampires is escalating. Humans continue to make small gains, and it's up to Empress Adele, her army, and Gareth, the Grey Fair, to destroy the vampire empire, but they'll have to contend with Gareth's ruthless brother, Caesar, his allies as he tries to seize the vampire throne. With spies and traitors hidden within their ranks, Adele and Gareth don't know whom to trust. Will they survive to see the dawn of a new era? Ah, the Diamond Conspiracy. What happens when you get the page number wrong? I'm sorry. The Diamond Conspiracy. 4.5 stars. Pip, Ballantyne, and T. Morris. Ballantyne and Morris have done it again with the latest installment in the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences. They find the perfect balance of the burgeoning romance between Bron and Books and compelling fast-paced, high-stakes action as the agents race to save the Queen and country. Every scene pops with vivid detail where the characters leap off the page as though you are meeting them for the first time. Incredible characterization and a solidly crafted plot grip the reader from the first page and don't let go until after the final page is read. Picking up immediately after the previous case, Bron and Books are on their way back to London, and they're not only dealing with the latest threat to the Empire, but they also have to cope with a problem that hits close to home. While neutralizing the latter, the agents quickly learn that members of the Ministry are being systematically eliminated to leave the Empire defenseless, all part of a larger nefarious plot. The race against the clock is on as Brooks and Braun attempt to trace the puppet strings of Maestro. But what if he's not the one pulling the strings? Check it out. Now, I have a couple of hers. It seems she's quite popular. So I may do more than one of hers. Um, Heart of Iron. So again, Heart of Iron. 4.5 stars. McMaster's second London steampunk book dazzles and seduces, diving deeper into this remarkable world. She crafts complicated, damaged, and driven characters whose unlikely passion is unforgettable, powerful. Details are slowly explained, and the complexities of all the relationships are gradually teased out, building a mounting tension that will leave readers breathless. For 3 years, Lena Todd and werewolfin Will Carver have played a dangerous game of desire. Even though Lena turned her back on life in the Whitechapel to become the toast of the bloodthirsty echelon, a dark hunger continues to bring them together. When Will discovers that Lena is carrying a coded message that tie her to the rebel, humanist, and arsonist at work in Whitechapel, he realizes that his time has come to put aside flirtations and protect the woman who drives him past all control. See what happens. Tarnished. Karina Cooper. 4.5 stars. An alternate London is the perfect setting for the steampunk thrill. Everything about this book is completely captivating. The characters are compelling, the story flows quickly and evenly, and the plot surprises with the most unexpected twists and turns. The author's voice is unusual and creative, adding to the mystique of the retro Victorian atmosphere. Fans of the classic horror and urban fantasies will enjoy all this book has to offer. Although you won't find an happily ever after, as Tarnish provides the foundation for the possibility of one in the future. Jerry St. Croix is a debutante by day, bounty hunter, or collector by night. In her sordid city of London, polite society lives above the dark underbelly of advanced technology and dazzling magic. While on the hunt for a murderer, Cherry must face her dark past, confronting her competing identities and decide what is more important, her life or her reputation. Interesting. Okay. There's no reviews on these two, but the magazine, and I couldn't find the one that was talked about in the magazine. So sorry about that. So we have Prudence Custard Protocol Book 1 and Protocol Book 4, Retittance. And I'm sorry about the lighting. There we go, a little bit. Vintage Punk. There's Gail. Um, Vintage clothing and goth style, along with the writing of greats like Jules Verne and Horace Walpole, first drew debut author Gail Carringer into the steampunk genre, where modern technology is used in the old world. But according to the author, the Soulless, which I couldn't find. The first book in the Parasol Protectorate series is a clean 50-50 split between historical set urban fantasy and steampunk. In her own words, Jane Austen does urban fantasy meets P.G. Wodehouse does steampunk. And let's see, let's do this one first. When Prudence Alyssa Macon is bequeathed an unexpected dribble, she does what any sensible female under similar circumstances would do. She christens the spotted custard and floats off to India. Soon she stumbles upon a plot involving local dissidents, a kidnapped brigadier's wife, and some awfully familiar Scottish werewolves. Faced with a dire crisis and embarrassing lack of bloomers, Rue must rely on her good breeding and men and natural abilities to get to the bottom of it all. That's that one. And I don't want to spoil it, so this is book 4, Retittance. So I'll leave it at that. And let's see. We talked about this in 2009. This was gave me the idea. Okay. Um. All right. Let me do the. I'm gonna have to have. I will do pictures. I will do pictures for these next 3. Um. So I couldn't find these, so I'm gonna do pictures. I'll do pictures. Moonlight and Mechanical, Cindy Spencer Pape, 4 stars. Pape continues her exciting adventures in steampunk fantasy with the 4th installment of her Gaslight Chronicles, set in Victorian London. The world-building balances history and futuristic delights and panache. Our hero and heroine are well-developed and personal. The heady seduction of their romance intertwines seamlessly with the main conflict. The mystery and suspense will keep readers guessing as they follow our hero and heroine from the dark streets of London into the realm of glittering society. Steady pacing and cleverly written plots cried a crossover genre that is an utter delight. Winifred Wink Hadrian has loved Inspector Liam McCullough for years, but his father's first marriage and his own werewolf past have made him a confirmed bachelor. His constant avoidance of Wink forces her to consider another man, whose declarations of love are becoming more frequent and daring. When London's poors begin to disappear and a dear friend of Wink's is among the missing, Wink begs Liam to help her find her missing friend and discover the reason behind the disappearances. So working together gets them together. Well, check that out. Lynn Veal, she's one of my authors, and unfortunately I didn't have this one and I couldn't find it anywhere. You can get it off of Amazon though. So I'm really surprised I didn't have this one. I've got so many of her books. 4.5 stars. The Clockwork Wolf by Lynn Veal. It's not very often that a sequel is even better than the original, but this entry proves to be even more engaging and absorbing than the previous installment. Veal expertly builds on a world she set forth in Disenchantment and Company, allowing the world to continue to grow organically through sharp, skilled character development. A strong and even pace will keep readers racing to the end. The chemistry between Kit and Dreadmore continues to build with tedious tension, especially with the increased presence of Inspector Doyle. I wonder if I do have this. I'll have to look over there. Charming Kit Kittredge crosses paths once again with Death Mage Lucian Dreadmore when he needs her help to solve the mystery of Wolfman, who has been ramping the city by aiding Lucian in his quest. Kit will also be helping Lady Bisley, a woman who did everything in her own power to ruin Kit's life. Her investigation takes her from high society English clubs to the underdeveloped wilderness outside the city of Rumson, all while putting her directly in the villain's crosshairs and earning her the protection of both Dreadmore and Inspector Doyle, who swear to keep her safe at any cost. Sounds good. And the last one with a picture, I think. Oh, this one has a picture. Scarlet Devices. There. Daphne Dryden, 4 stars. A wild race across the American Dominion keeps the story hopping in the second installment of Dryden's sassy steam and seduction series. The protagonists in this tale will need all their wits and courage as a high-stakes competition turns increasingly deadly. Hang on tight. This one competition you won't soon forget. Now that she's done with university, Eliza Harrison is struggling to figure out the next move in her life. Worker rights are something she's passionate about, and she's especially concerned about those individuals who mysteriously disappear and are presumed to have gone west. Matthew Pence is Makesman Smith's Baron Dexter, Hardison's protege, but it's time for him to strike out on his own. Just a second. She stopped. Um, where was I? I did that. Competing in the Sky and Steam Rally from New York to San Francisco may be just the ticket. Dexter has his own entry in the race, and he asks his cousin Eliza to drive Flyver's machine. But it seems like sabotage is an ever-present threat. Although they want to win, Eliza and Matthew realize they need to join forces just to survive. See how that goes. All right. Last 4. And 2 of them are by the same gal. So, um, Silk and Steam, Silk and Steam. McMaster has the uncanny knack for outdoing herself in each installment of her London Steampunk series. In this 5th adventure, the threat of rebellion raises the stakes exponentially, forcing each character to make life-changing decisions. A sensational cat-and-mouse game of desire and distrust ensues between 2 of the most complex characters McMaster has crafted. The tension between them is palpable from their first meeting and develops into something marvelously tough. Absorbing and wholly transfiguring, ultimately this is the perfect finale to a phenomenal series, and readers can only hope for more. When Lady Aramia's father was assassinated, she vowed she'd avenge his death. Since then, she has consolidated her power with cool, calculated precision. Only one man has managed to see past her facade, Leo Barons, the son of the man who killed Mina's father. From the moment he set eyes on her, Leo knew that there was more to Mina than meets the eye. And he will do anything to uncover her secrets. Let's see what happens there. And the other one, the same author. Forged by Fire. 4.5 stars. McAllister's London steampunk series continues grows more complex and more fascinating, and this intense, instantly absorbing fourth novel enriches her world, bringing the series to a turning point that will have fans clamoring for more. At its heart is a pair of engaging characters whose connection is magnetic, whose chemistry is explosive. McMaster's insight into her couple's dynamic is spot on, making the conflict between them feel genuine, if a little frustrating, but her emphasis on love for precisely who and what you are makes this romance another outstanding. Hey, Sandy. That's my girl. Come here, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Um, Captain Garrett Reed of the Night Hawks has been tasked with hunting down a monster who is preying on women, leaving him no choice but to use his partner in the guard, Perry, as bait. But one look at Perry dressed to kill, and Garrett finds himself naughtily caught in his own trap. Perry fled her life as a blood throb, hiding behind her uniform and abrasive retorts to keep everyone at arm's length, including the partner she's loved for 9 years. Perry would do anything for Garrett, but when her past returns with a vengeance, she realizes the only way to save him is to leave him. Aww. Come here. Come here. Okay. Um. Heart of Steel. Melanie Brooke. It's airships ahoy in the next chapter of Brooks' award-winning Iron Seas. Talk about a dangerous courtship. When last these characters met, she dumped him overboard to a certain doom. Rising Star Brooke has created two completely mesmerizing characters whose journeys in the gritty and treacherous world make for heart-stopping fun. During their last confrontation, Yasmin, mercenary captain of the Lady Corsair ship, dumped treasure hunter Archimedes Fox overboard in a zombie-infested lands. Like the stories about him indicate, however, never bet against Archimedes or his determination to get back to his Da Vinci sketch. He manages to convince Yasmin not to kill him and begins his usual courtship in earnest. There are rough times ahead, however, as there are those who either want the sketch or the two of them dead. Yasmin is known for her heart of steel, but can this sexy guy break through? We'll see. And our last book, Clockwork Crown. Got a lot of markers in this one. Beth Cato, Clockwork Crown. 4.5 stars. The sequel to Cato's amazing steampunk adventure, The Clockwork Dagger, has all the imagination, treachery, and non-stop thrills of the first. Magical healer Octavia Lender is both fleeing assassins and hunting for answers regarding the transformation she appears to be undergoing. Just try catching your breath as this electrifying tale races across exotic lands in a desperate quest to find the truth and stop potential apocalypse. Although they survived an attempted assassination, Medicine Octavia and former Clockwork Dagger Alonza Garrett are fleeing Cascadia, trying to reach Mercia and the southern nations. Octavia hopes to find hidden information about the legendary Lady's Tree and why Octavia's own healing powers seem to be growing. To find out what they need, Octavia and Alonzo must head into the inhospitable territory of the Waste. Helping them on their journey are some usual allies, including the Gremlins. And danger lurks at every turn. So, if you like steampunk or interested in steampunk or never heard about it before, maybe you'll find one of these books, Retitans and Prudence and Tarnished and Beckmaster, Heart of Iron, and the Diamond Conspiracy Group, and the Clockwork, and Gillian Brooks, and Beckmasters, and the Empire and McAllister. Steamed. I hope you enjoyed your steampunk afternoon. Have a good one. Don't forget to check out Star Trek Next Generation Recap and Flashback Mondays. It's really important to me. I work really, really hard on these episodes. All these books, 60, 70 books. If you think this is a lot, you should see Flashback Monday. Have a good one.